Very cool ride. I'm just slowing down now, and movement through beingness was where I was. Accelerated, tiny, maybe sensing of lights or molecules or nothingness. Hearing you say, coming to this place. So that was slowing down, and I don't know if they were, but molecules were getting bigger and more colorful and more differentiated. And this place is, I'm not sure that I would describe it as a place. It's this space, as in, it's the most golden hued color. Seems like pure golden mists or pure golden ribbons or just pure golden light, and I am that. And at the same time, maybe it seems like I'm in that, and I can feel and see, experience, and know it's like this golden electricity and golden, well, it's everything. It's energy and the space in between filaments of energy. It seems to move like water, as if I was in a golden sea, fully golden sea. And if you, light is shining, the light is shining from within this space. So within, from within, I'm the light. I'm the source of the light. And I'm lighting up all of this gold. I don't know what it is, energy, water, fluid, soup, everything. And as I pay attention to the light, more seems to emanate, more seems to light up, more seems to reflect and refract more of this golden light, the nuances of this golden light to me. And I'm looking around to see if I can see anything outside of me. Like, I'm looking through the light to, well, I want to describe it as like if I was underwater, above water, seeing a tree or something, but um, huh, I don't know if I am the sun, or just, I'm not seeing the edges of being the golden light. So I'm not, again, I'm not sure. I guess I'm trying to name it instead of just be it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when I relaxed in that, I have an awareness of the vastness
Mm-hmm.
of me, this golden. I know stuff. It's it. Now I have a sense of. So I have a sense of seeing other things around, but um, very far away, but not far away. So if I'm so vast looking out that I can feel and sense and be connected to and a part of othernesses, um, other forms, other structures, other energy. Oh, okay, other energy color. So there's energy external to me, which has a different feel to it. It has a different, maybe a shape or a different read of color. Or so as I focus on that, I can see other, like a differentiation in light or size or color. I have huge feeling in my heart area, knee in the couch, heart
Mm-hmm.
area. What I would call the moving trucks have come in, and it's a big ass semi
Mm-hmm.
that is working on building the room in my heart chamber. So it's huge. They're moving the walls of the high heart is huge, moving, huge expansion.
Hmm. Is that the purpose of this space that you're in?
Apparently,
Okay.
because the light is getting brighter
Mm-hmm.
and so now I can feel, oh, I feel I'm stepping, huh, I'm stepping, well, this is a little confusing. I'm stepping into me and fully sitting in this golden light. So I'm stepping more into me in the body as my heart as seems to expanding, like my chest needs to get bigger because there's just not enough room.
Hmm.
So I'm more, hard to describe it. I guess it's which way I, so I'm more of the golden light and I'm more in my chest. And I'm fusing those two. And I keep seeing the most beautiful, um, it's like a very soft, focus, amorphous lion's head. That is, oh, okay, I don't know much about tarot, but there's a deck where there's the card of love and courage is a female being and a lion.
Strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's almost just like a pictorial word picture image that's coming as a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. So as I'm saying that, um, the intense pressure in my heart, okay, well, like the walls being way too small has eased off a little, but um, the fullness, the feeling of total, so there's pressure, but not pressure. There is fullness. There's such fullness as if my heart is weird to describe. So it's filling my whole chest cavity from the front all the way to my back, coming out and to the ribs. And now it's into my shoulders. So it's almost as if that was a room in a chamber.
Mm-hmm.
It's now enveloping, it's spreading and enveloping every system and limb and organ in me. And okay, that's interesting. So now the apparently we have to get bigger. So now the pinching because the room's not big enough again is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the perspective of being more fullness, but I'm meeting or seeing or connecting with me, but I'm the golden light. So I'm all the gold, all the yellow. I don't have the right description for colors because it's only as the light shines more brilliantly do I see all of the amazing variances, hues, nuances of all of that which I would characterize as some form of gold, of yellow, of brilliance. And it seems to go beyond, well, anything that I can describe, but beyond a color, beyond a light. It's a feeling, it's a movement, it's astonishingly beautiful. It's it's a sense of place, and it's unspeakably beautiful. And it's filling in all of me as I'm trying to narrate and describe the feeling of the, if there was any ever separation between me as this, I don't know, multiverses wide ball of golden light thing, and me in the shirt. And as I am overlit, overwhelmed, completely filled up and enveloped. It's almost like, um, huh. So their energies are expanding each other. So there seems to be, just like I need to have more space created, so to say, for all this to come into me, I'm doing the same to the light.
Mm-hmm.
And as I have these realizations or merging with the thought forms, well, it's feeling form, but it's feeling forms. Um, I generate another wave or another room 3 sizes bigger. I don't know, it's kind of like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas with the heart getting big. And I have an awareness of the lion is coming back, and I have a this um, floating, swimming being. Words are terrible. Um, and again, now it's almost the sensation is it's this growing, all-encompassing light and energy and field and unspeakable deliciousness, beauty, love, comfort, joy, excitement. It's almost like every color in the multiverses, but I'm seeing the range that is kind of in the golden hue.
Mm-hmm. Now, the first word that comes to your head, comes to mind, what would you call this place that you're in, this space?
Light eternal.
Ah, okay. I'd also like you to reach out and connect to the lion.
Hmm. So I can see the lion and feel it's an enormous being, or the energy is enormous, and such compassion and such gravitas and very etheric, and he seems to be able to he seems to have wings.
Mm.
And huh, he's part of the eternal flame. So I don't know whether he's manifesting as this lion. Not he's not in well, he's not in form, but he's not no form. He's kind of has form and structure and feeling and boundaries, but he's very ethereal. He's very translucent. He's of huge substance and huge, um, I want to say, the words that come to mind are character and force of presence, but I couldn't quite fully see, like, the outline of a paw. It's not like he's 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 completely there, but he's um, mostly translucent, mostly he's vibrating so fast that I can't see through him, but he isn't solid.
Hmm.
Because I just noticed he shifted, and I can see something that another, well, it seems like different swirls of light. But in other words, what part of him shifted had been blocking that. So he must be, that's confusing. He must be enough there, enough solidity to him that not all light passes through him, but it's pretty close.
Now, I wonder if you can communicate with him in the way that you do with Keegan and Xander. Does he come bringing a message for you today?
I'm not hearing anything. It's more a feeling of unlimited, a feeling huh, of well, it's a weird word that comes to mind. A feeling of royal, a feeling the word that's coming. I don't think it's right. Is changing of the guard,
Mm-hmm.
waves of the new guards, but I don't get it's a sense of like guarding something. But it's interesting that some of the communication is my perception of it is similar to how I would perceive with Keegan and Xander, but it's much as there's translucence, it's like so I perceive it a little bit differently. I guess I'm trying to navigate through that. And everything just seems to be now there's a feeling of everything both the light and the lion are going quiet,
Mhm.
or receding is not the right word. They haven't gone anywhere, but they're going quiet. So I don't know how to describe that. Okay,
Almost as
so
if the message was delivered.
yeah,
Mhm.
deactivated, or just, yeah, as if, if there was a, like, some kind of ball or beacon is on the table and it's pulsing or activating or something,
Mhm.
and then it just still there, but it's quiet.
Mhm.
Maybe not transmitting or
Mhm.
activate transmitting. And I I can have I can see okay, like the last echoes of his outline, like if I was looking into the setting sun and I could see something in that, how your eyes get funny because it's so bright and you kind of lose the,
Mhm.
and actually, as I said that, it's, now it's fading, so the brilliance is even brighter, but the detail or the conversation is going quiet, not going away, just going quiet. Like if you're talking to somebody and they just kind of fall asleep. Does that make sense?
It
So
does.
they
Mhm.
haven't gone anywhere, and when I say that, trying to describe that feeling of fullness is very apparent. So
Mhm.
something in me, in the couch, is totally changed.
Do you feel that's something that you needed today?
Well, it's cool and beautiful. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't unpacked all of it, but I would say that I just know that I'm not the same as when I sat down. And as I say that, it's like I get an echo or a confirmation, or in every part of me.
Mhm. That's absolutely beautiful. Now let's allow that scene to fade away. Just letting it fade away. And let's begin to float and travel through time and through space to a place where you have experienced Keegan, Rose, or Xander, or anyone else close to you, beginning to move through time and space. The count of five. One, just continue to float. Two, traveling to that place. Three, allowing the images to come. Four, and five, you are there.
seems like a town, almost like well, one thing that comes to mind is like I don't know if this is right, but the Pueblo Indians and the structures, the town, the things were out of the landscape and or out of the rock. And I think it's on this planet, but it's way earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a happy place.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's very vibrant, and I'm trying to kind of connect with one being or one thing, but it's very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And the people and the scene is very familiar, but it's like rushing by. I don't know. It's not rushing, but um, like if you're watching a it's funny. Some movies come into mind. I don't know the movie, but the action is freeze frame, and then it starts, and there's um, people walking or talking or doing things or uh,
Let's take a moment to ground yourself into that scene. Look down at the ground and observe the colors and allow yourself to observe your form. What do you look like?
humanoid and female, tall. The light is beautiful here. And there's such connection with all these beings. There's
What do they look like?
well, they're humanoid too. It's can't quite focus on. They're there's they're all different people, but I don't. Well, maybe they're people, just like people, but
Mm-hmm.
but they feel different. They're more. They're more than just people. Like if I would go outside now and see people around, so they're more connected people. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't have um, like layers on them, like masks on them. And I don't mean, like face diapers. They don't have distortion. That's it. They they're their true form.
Mm-hmm.
They're and they're different hues. I think I'm in Lemuria.
Ah, okay. Can you describe the structures around?
Um, right now, I seem to be. It's. I don't know whether I'm gawking, and so, so it's hard to take in. I'm taking in everything and no particular details all at once.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that uh, it's it's so heartening. It's so beautiful that it's so familiar. It's home. It's so familiar. That feeling of being known and connected
Mm-hmm.
and simpatico. And there's just this feeling of it's just a huge smile. It's fading, but it's such a huge smile. All of them smiling. The energy is smiling. The scene is smiling. Every part of it, every structure, every being, every I don't know, animal, I guess, is smiling like a knowing smile and a reassuring smile. And I'm using the word smile to try to convey the energetic, but fast friends and partnership and team are the words that are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and familiar, it's not accurate, but familiar voices. So familiar energy signatures, which the voice that comes through. So my sense as it's fading is I saw that in perfect clarity, even though part of me would describe it as not clear at all. But um, it was the energetic I was to focus on and see
Mm-hmm.
rather than specific story or a stop along the town or a conversation. Does that and everything that I saw came into contact with touched me and touched them. Uh, in the individual and I don't know that I want to say sense of place, a sense of hard to describe it, but it was just exactly what I was. It's exactly right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of at odds with myself here. I'm saying what's coming the feeling, but part of me is going, bring it back.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that's the place that you have experienced Keegan and Rose and Xander before?
Yeah, but I want to say I could name people and friends, and
Mm-hmm.
actually a whole from from this life, all sorts of people are
Mm,
popping into my head that were there.
okay. Well, let's move to
Right.
another scene in that lifetime as that being. Let's go there in three, two, and one.
I'm kind of in, well, there, it's like um, a plateau above the village, the city. Well, I don't know how to big it is. It seems to reach forever, but I'm above it on a wide, flat space, and there's a campfire or a, yeah, there seems to be rocks and, oh, okay, these rocks are emitting, they are the fire.
Mm,
Huh. And there's a gathering of, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 people. It's a big space. It's almost like, think of a combination. There's grass and dirt and rocks and trees or logs, both of those. And it jets out, like, there's foothills or well, big foothills or mountains, and then it overlooks like a plateau, and down below is the town. That you can see, like, roads and paths, and the sky is beautiful. Though, oh, it's one of those things I always wanted to see, where you can kind of see the stars. You can see the Milky Way
mm,
beautifully lighting up the sky. It's dark, but you can. I've seen pictures that depict it. I mean, photographs that are, usually I see them in time lapse, but, and I'm not sure it's a super special gathering. It's just a gathering, and I getting a sense of the different people. I'm me, huh? I'm me as me, but me then, if that
mm.
makes sense. So I'm more of me. I'm the same frequency as me,
Mm-hmm.
but more of me.
And do you recognize anyone else around you?
Yeah, some of them were same familiar, and I just walked up to somebody, and they put their hand on my shoulder. Huh, it's Heather. And just she just walked by. Um, this is very funny. Very interesting. I'm trying not to grab at it, grab at the, but I could have sworn that you're off a bit in a group of people and you turned your head,
Mm-hmm.
smiled over your shoulder, and kept back
Hmm.
talking. And that's interesting. So I'm just trying to kind of, it's almost like I'm trying to feel the recognition of people rather than expect them to be in the same suit
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. So Lisa's smile is smiling at me. I'm just scanning again, there's amusement and joy here. My brother is there. Someone I work with here is there. She's dancing and she's there. Wow, this is giving me such a head rush. Holy smokes. I'm like the Milky Way that's spinning through the sky now too.
Hmm.
This is so surreal. I feel like I'm on I don't know, like I'm just, I'm three things at once kind of. I'm here in the couch and I'm me there, and now I'm sitting down on this rock because I think the me in the couch is making me spin
Hmm.
this fire. Um, and I'm observing the whole scene. So it's just a it's okay. We're having a gathering just for fun. There's more coming, but we have a little bit of time left before we need to make full preparation. I'm not quite certain for what, but something big. It's weird. It's like, uh, huh. Again, I'm, I'm having, I'm getting a clear sense of, maybe because I'm trying to match. I'm getting a clear sense of energy signature, the nuance of the people that was lining up to what's, I might say, is more familiar here, in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, someone, Christy from long ago, is there. It's, okay, that's interesting. I'm getting the sense that part of this is not as is it's a gathering of just to enjoy there, but it's whoa, I've never had this before, where I'm seeing and experiencing something and have a complete head rush sort of a thing at the same time. Um, I think that I and all the beings there are melding into their counterparts here.
Hmm.
And I think I get the sense that that where I could describe it as okay, I'm really dizzy, about to throw up. Fuck. The gathering there is a fun gathering for them, but the point is because I'm not the only one who's coming to see this, who's coming to what's the right way to say it? Looking in on this. Is it so coming from here to there to then from now to it's a reunion across time and space.
Hmm.
It's a that yeah, that's what I'm partaking in. Very interesting.
Is it a preparation for something in this current time?
Yeah, when you asked that, there was a pause in all of the blending. So yes, so that would be like, if you're asking your guides or something, it's like it's a certain, I don't know how to describe it, but yes, it's a because it's a okay. So in that merging is it's stepping over the threshold. So the okay, I'm blowing my mind here. So let's see how to describe this. So there is no past, present, and future.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's star family, which is me in the future. One would be me in the future self coming back now and back in. So past self is Lemurian's sort of thing, but they're all coming into sync
Mm-hmm.
and all the um aligning is not quite the right word. Sync is probably the best to step. No, we're not stepping, we're launching, we're bursting into the scene, uh the Big Bang scene. The I don't know the okay, now everything is coming super fast and I can't quite make heads or tail of it. But so past, present, future, all of that is coming into sync. All the video tracks, all the soundtracks are now matching up. They're syncing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we're leaping forward. And that's actual physical, that's metaphoric, that's energetic, that's light years, that's how would you say it? When don't they say civilization makes huge leaps, and um, uh, frames of mind and perspectives, and um, uh, wow, I'm trying to pull out things that the scenes and the scenes of being there and understanding this, and the way I get data, the videos are coming so fast. It's um, the gathering is to gather. It's a gathering. It's a gathering of, so in this, it's not right, but in this time where this gathering is, there are collectives, there are groupings, there um well, what are they, soul clans, or I know I'm not good at labeling, so I don't know the proper way that they would call it, but um, I don't know why soul clans keeps coming to mind, but so on this particular plateau and this gathering and hanging out on this particular village, but is this happening all over? And those groupings, those uh, so does that make sense? So that's
Mhm.
happening.
I'm being shown the Mayan culture for some reason.
Yeah, could be.
Like they're showing me the leap.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's it's blowing my mind. So the past, present, future, all that is coming, and it's almost like if you have, you hit your head and you not only have double vision, you've got,
Mm.
quadruple vision,
Mhm.
and now you're coming like this, and the whole point of the gathering, because it's fun, because it's it's this gorgeous, sublimely beautiful joke, or uh, joyful coming back into phase. I don't know how to. I mean, I see the humor in it as a joke, because there's a smile, and that knowing smile and nod and welcome, and we've been waiting, and depending on perspective of all the things, so we're coming back together because we're all just about to leap into something, each one of us totally new. I feel it, I know it, I can see, and I'm partaking in it. I just having a hard time coming up with English to describe it.
Mhm.
And okay, so this gathering, so there are that's why it's the thought of it, there's a little time yet, because this, it's almost like this keeps happening, because more and more are coming, whether it's, I mean, I know that this is going on other places, but this group are coming, like me, I'm visiting sort of,
Mhm.
but I'm coming into the, oh, okay, this was activated by um by what just happened this weekend with the with um, Samhain and the gateway and it's the stripping off of um, the distortion of Halloween and Simon and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's opening that window that this is happening all over. Well, it's not just all over this planet, but it's that um, these gatherings and coming into sync because we're all about leap, big bang, fly. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I can't think of the right words to. Um, so that's why it's so familiar, and the feeling of newness, of anticipation, of wow, look, I'm changing, sort of a, actually, I'm looking down at me, and my hands, my body is familiar for me in that place, but it's changing. So what I'm getting is that overwhelming feeling of me with the golden light. That whole first thing is that change. This is continuing that change.
Mm-hmm.
And so now all of us there's about 35 or 40 of us there now, but there's more people coming. Oh, and the lights are dancing in the sky now. They're celestial lights. It's almost like I've never seen them in person, but and they feel different because it's not cold, but uh, like aurora borealis, sort of a thing of um, pinks and purples, actually, some greens, but
Oh, wow.
dancing in the overhead. It's that seems to be a signal that again it's of this merging.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody there at the gathering, hanging out on the rock or whatever it is we're doing, um, this isn't a brushing off sense, but they've gone back to just being there, doing what they're doing, hanging out. It's almost like, oh, those lights are so amazing. And the only thing I can relay is that I'm trying to form the words around the thought that in it's complete. So a couple more beings like me have jumped in, and so now we're just going back to a fun evening up on you know, the plateau, the place where you go and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, spend the evening. You know what I mean? It's like we were anticipating guests, and or we're not guests, but friends. You know, we are anticipating people showing up. People were coming tonight, and they've
Mm-hmm.
come, and they've lined up, and they've aligned, and and they know that they have, and they and we have changed. We've clicked. We've but we've all gotten bigger, more, hmm, more. Yeah, it's almost like the soul, the energy signature, the being has gotten just like that. I'm feeling the same thing in where I had the fuller
Mhm.
and huh. And so uh, those who we've expected have showed up for tonight, and now we're just going back to having a fun evening, or going forward to having a fun evening. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
Mhm. So would it be like a merging of all parts from, across all timelines for each soul?
um, well, that's not quite the description, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's the like I said, it's almost like uh, everything's syncing up. So yes,
Mhm.
so all that is it's everything's been maybe slightly out of focus or slightly out of phase, and simply because each thing was building, each being was building, was uh, expanding in different ways, and now as it snaps back in, that's why there's that feeling of, you know,
Mhm.
huge fullness, because so if I'm over here being me and I'm over here being me, and well, I don't have enough hands, but
Mhm.
right, and I'm expanding doing this and whatever, and and so on and so forth, and now I'm going like this. Now it's
Mhm.
uh yeah, so
Makes sense.
a few more words and and I can maybe explain it, but I feel the picture. I feel the whole story. I just can't quite articulate it. Yeah, and now I'm experiencing being up there on the plateau, and um and me looking in on that is kind of receding again.
Mhm.
Um it's almost like I'm coming the eyes through which I'm seeing are coming back into this body, like as
Mhm.
if I don't know if I was astral projecting or something,
Mhm.
but this body, so that which is me here is bigger, fuller. It's more. It's more me, and more with all of the me's than we were before.
Mhm.
I I think that's kind of a clear way to describe what I feel.
Okay. So in a way, you brought that back with you.
Yes, and it's still there. It's still there too.
Okay. Very good. So let's allow that to fade away. And let's once again begin to travel and float. Just float to another necessary time or place. Begin traveling now. And you are there.
I'm the inside of a motor.
Mm.
I think we need to do that again because right at that moment when I'm starting to let the scene
Hmm.
unfold and that noise out there.
Okay.
In fact, let's take a quick break and
Okay.
I can get up, close the door, and not wake the puppy.
All right. Go ahead and open your eyes.
They're glued shut. Mm, okay, I'll be right back.
All righty.
Okay,
Just
let's
close
try.
your eyes. Just begin to breathe deeply in and deeply out. Just allowing that wave of relaxation to flow in from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Just finding yourself relaxing, allowing your mind to drift, and allowing your spirit to float, just freely floating, moving to another time, to another place, just traveling through time and space. Continue floating to a relevant place. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Coming back from a hike, I'm not certain. Okay, there's Keegan.
Hmm.
And there's a much bigger Xander. Dude, he's a lot taller. It seems to be early morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, early morning. There's still some mists. I've been out obviously hiking and photographing. Got a
Mm.
couple of cameras. I'm not recognizing the place.
What's around you?
getting the sense of either um, the foliage on the trees, maybe Arizona, maybe Texas.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mesquite tree. Somewhere in the southwest, I think.
Okay.
And okay, so still not seeing anything that tells me what state, but I'm getting in my truck, so clearly this is in the future a bit.
Mm-hmm.
From Xander's age, he looks about um, maybe 4 or 5 months old. So, hmm, just feeling the air, giving them in a warmer thing, but I'm not hot, so maybe let's say April,
Mm-hmm.
April, May. Okay, we're driving back to the RV campground we're staying at.
Do you feel that you've been there for a while?
Um, Not that long. It's like maybe enough so that it's familiar. I've gotten to be familiar with some of the places that we like to go walk or good photographs or the where the light or the mists or whatever would be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple weeks,
Okay.
10 days, maybe. But I'm looking around and well, since my rig is new, I know it's mine, but I haven't seen it before. So, uh, but I haven't seen any people yet because it's still early, but I'm getting, and this place as I just drove by it has places, you can go up into a section where there's like cabins too, those little camping cabins
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. Uh, but getting the sense that I'm getting the sense that this is a very similar. Isn't that pretty? Blow your mind. I'm getting short of we're not up on a plateau, or maybe there is one around here I haven't seen yet, but I'm getting the same sense that this is very much, or at least part of it, because it's a big place, the same gathering, only it's now.
Hmm.
That I'm not. People are still apparently asleep. Uh, oh, huh. I think that's Lisa and her rig. And there's someone who's very, very familiar, but I can't place their name. They're so familiar. Um, it's this. it's this gentleman walking out of, he's just coming out, he doesn't see me yet, just coming out of his rig, and he feels and looks so familiar, but I can't place, I don't I don't know that I recognize him so much from this time, or maybe, I don't know, he seems very familiar,
Hmm.
but I'm getting the sense, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. So I don't see her yet, but I have a sense that that's Sheila's rig.
Hmm.
I don't see her yet. Okay, I'm being drawn to walk through more of the place, kind of bypassing where our section is.
Mm-hmm.
And over on one of the cabin porches is another, as a woman I'm talking to, again, very familiar. And I think familiar because we've been here together a little while. We know each other, but I don't, but not because we, hard to explain, but not because we, uh, like I knew Lisa or Sheila before there and we're there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but just like when I first connected with them, they were very familiar. So this woman here is, of course, we're hanging out and we're gonna do stuff, but um, coming together now, but almost like um, meeting in person for the last week or so, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing, not at all surprised to see each other there.
Hmm.
And there seems to be a sense of, I think we're in Texas.
Do you have a sense of why you are gathered here?
Um, it's a gathering. Like, I don't, I mean, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's a gathering, like the forces are gathering, the um that kind of gathering, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Okay.
uh, uh, and i'm I'm waving high, or just, morning, acknowledging, because clearly this is my routine, coming back with the dogs from a walk and cameras, and how's it going, and getting good pictures, sort of a thing. um and I get the sense from some of these people that they're gathering too, because they heard about the gathering, and that slight, so, huh, okay, so I'm getting a sense of there's different levels to the gathering.
Mm.
So some are gathering because we were nudged and we know to be here, and we're meant to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And some, uh, in how we, either through my light encoded work that I'm doing with images and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or conversations on the YouTube channels or CCC or whatever it is, they're gathering because um, they're where we are is near some place where they would come to gather.
Mm-hmm.
So um, maybe it's all the same. Maybe the root of the gathering is all of a piece, but um, I'm trying to describe the way that. So some of the layers to it is um, the word destined to be and um, scheduled to be is one layer, and um, I've some beings have been nudged or found something, or this is where they meant to be. Does I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It seems. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, but I'm not describing it in a way
Kind
that
of like a
makes.
calling.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know. It's the appointed time and place for some of us, and some it is for the others too. But yeah, it's and then there's some beings that they're just beings. They're people, have their traveling or vacationing or uh, and they just happen to be at the place. But I would say it's a big space, so I don't know, maybe 70 sites, 75
Hmm.
RV sites, and seems to be a couple different areas of cabins, so it might be like 25, 30 cabins. I mean, it doesn't seem like a city and everybody's all on top of each other. It's beautiful trees and stuff. Um, but maybe more than half uh, were there for the same gathering.
Mm-hmm. Now
And
let's move ahead in time just a bit. Fast forward time just a bit to see what takes place. Moving forward in three, and two, and one.
it's seems like it's a couple days later,
Mm-hmm.
um, mid-evening. So it's kind of like sun hasn't set yet, but it's getting on that time of day. Get the sense it's because the daylight is good now. So um, and we've got there's a space. It's like lots of lots of there's a couple big picnic tables and stuff, but there's also like it's like one of those campground areas where you can have big fire pits and stuff. Uh, so we haven't started yet, but I have a sense that we're having a gathering where uh, people are already starting. They're having a picnic, kind of a cookouts, and we're gonna have some kind of presentation or conversation or something tonight. People are talking about it. It's funny. It's very it's almost like it's it's not quite snapped in, almost like I'm there watching and talking, but I'm not quite it's almost like like I'm hearing it through. I like outside of my window if someone's walking by, so you can
Mm-hmm.
hear the conversation. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I'm right there talking to some, but it's um so I'm getting the from the because I'm walking, talking to different people. Um, my sense is again because it's that I don't know how to describe it. It's like snippets of conversation, so I'm not fully getting full details like I can see right, you know, in my own house right this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is one of our. So we called the gathering, Sheila and Lisa and I, and this one of our. I think it's our second one. So we've already met up. We've met up, the three of us from different rigs and convergence and from different directions. And so this is like the second place we've all kind of gone to. That's my so me and my guys have been on the road for a bit, couple months, and the other beings who are there, like I said, a combination of different levels of hey, they're going to be in town, let's go see it sort of a level, although
Mm-hmm.
excited to be there and invested and nudged, you know, called to be there. But others also as they've arrived at the appointed time. I don't know how to describe it, and I mean it makes sense to me, but
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm having that same kind of head rush feeling that I was um, in the plateau setting. So it's there. I get the sense through the same fusing, the same um, filling up thing is happening again.
Hmm.
Very act of us coming together is um, it's 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 a weird way to describe it. It's like more molecules are coalescing and lining up, not only in each being, but in the cohesive structure that we are forming,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the huh and the energetic envelope that this is creating. So not only for around whatever we're going to do tonight, but in being in this location and being well, definitely the Trinity of Lisa, Sheila, and I together, but also with other beings coming in. So almost like uh, the people being called, feeling their own call and coming in, and then um, coming to the location. So those energy fields, those energy signatures playing off of each other are there's a resonance, but also there's how do you say it? Um, the fields are like if when you tune, I don't know, when you tune one or you hit a strike a tuning fork and it makes the others vibrate as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what that's called, but there's some of that a lot of that going on.
Hmm.
Even if, okay, like this one guy is so familiar, and there's lots of Lisa and Sheila, there's a couple other people that notice the same thing, even though we have no, who's that? Oh, I don't know, but it's that tuning fork sort of a thing. Does that make sense? So he's,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and his, isn't that interesting? So he's got a dog, he's got a German Shepherd, and that's happening with my two dogs. It's the same, um, it's the same kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So now, it's almost like the evening's kind of going on. It's still not dark yet, and I think we're gonna go in this fire pit area to have, conversation. But there's like, I don't know, about 17, 18, 20 people. Uh, so I'm not getting, actually, that's doing that same thing where it's kind of fading into the back, but the feeling within my body is huge, like huge energy running, and huge amping up, huge, I want to say all of me is feeling very enlivened, very, like all my molecules are getting super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm just seeing dancing molecules. And again, it's one of those things where where I'm fading back from the place. I can still see the place, see the people, but I'm fading back from
Mm-hmm.
being right in that.
Mm-hmm.
And my overall feeling right this minute is, the phrases that come to mind is it's unfolding and happening, and now it can really begin.
Oh, okay. Now I'd like to invite your higher self to step in and use your voice to provide you with some clarity and wisdom. Just asking the higher self to step in.
Step in, please.
Thank you for stepping forward. Do you mind if I ask you some questions for BZ?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Could you help her to understand what the gold light, she called it the eternal light? Could you help her to understand what that was?
Truth of who she is.
Okay. And what about the lion that she kept seeing?
That's a representation of her fierceness, but in all of its magnificence, in all of its connectedness, or rightness, in all of its she would say integratedness. So there is
Mm.
no separation, there's no disconnect, there's no not knowingness.
I
That's
was,
why she felt so, that feeling of so, being so full.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Because
was
the
going to
full,
ask, was she integrating those feelings?
yes, the fullness of her has come in, and there's more because she's always expanding. But
Mm-hmm.
that fullness, and she's feeling it flooding her right this minute.
Mm. Very nice.
Time when that's coming.
Is this something that will continue even after this session?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mm. It's expanding more and more for her and for others.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's expanding in Gaia, in Terra, in the new landscape, the new vibrational landscape, the new earth is unfolding.
Mm. Now, is that something that she was seeing when she was experiencing being in Lemuria and having the gathering and the anticipation for something new?
That fullness, that full force
Mm-hmm.
of life force is coming into everything. And the aligning, the syncing, the all encompassing of different, well, she thinks of them as past, present, and future, but there is none.
Mm-hmm.
The different sections and sectors, different realms and dimensions, different time, space, and space times, different frequency expressions
Mm-hmm.
are all beyond coming into coherence, beyond coming into alignment, beyond coming into a meeting and connecting and a syncing up. Each area or realm or dimension or space time or time space is going through its own expansion as it lines up, as it sinks in. And then there's a wave. It's like this combustible expansion burst wave that's going through each of those pieces and people and geographic and energetic and frequency settings. And the expansion is happening in a synced, aligned, cohesive, amalgamated way, creating something totally new, moved beyond where it was just a moment before.
Mm. And this is the leap.
Could say leap, could say a burst of moving forward. It's a threshold jump.
Mm.
and the event horizon. And it is happening to every thing, every being, every form, and no form of consciousness,
Mm.
thought forms, all things.
Would that somehow explain the pause or the holding space that we all kind of feel we're in as of right now?
It's a way to line those things up, not to, in order to snap in, to have that phasing occur. Um, the forward momentum is actually on a little bit of a loop, some
Mm.
people have been perceiving.
Okay.
And so that lets it snap in, it lets it come into coherence because it's a vast syncing of aspects and frequency signatures and component pieces within the fusing.
Hmm. And is this also why she's saying the molecules at the very beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Out of curiosity, has this also happened, this leap or this burst? Has it also happened in what we call our past?
Yes, it has. It's happening in a much more far-reaching way
Mm.
now because all of those particles, all of those molecules, all of those components of consciousness have expanded beyond that, and each has its own choice point, has its own awareness, has its own singularity nature, and there's more in which to have that pulse. The pulse cannot help but be magnitudes greater than it was before.
Mm.
And the very act of the gathering of those molecules, gathering of those individuated and the cohesive structures and the components of them actually gather more, actually strengthen the pulse more, actually strengthen the force of consciousness and light that is being driving to create this new one.
Mm. BC was also curious about places that she had experienced the people that are close to her and Keegan and Rose and Xander. Then she went to the scene in Lemuria. Is that a place that she had experienced them before?
Yes, and she's remembering how to bring the fullness of the knowing of who the different beings are, the different energy frequencies are, instead of just an isolated
Mm-hmm.
connection. That's why we showed it to her where it isn't just a simple scene,
Mm-hmm.
It's all of that flooding in. And so, in the deciphering of that is actually the decoding of that
Mm-hmm.
and the recognition and realigning and resonance field building of that without a naming or a labeling or a slotting.
Mm-hmm. Was there a reason why she kept getting dizzy seeing these scenes?
The amount of changes and shifts and infusing and influx of things that are going on within all of her
Mm-hmm.
vessel and the bandwidth of her frequency signature on all realms is enormous in these moments. And she activated in these moments.
Mm-hmm.
She had to choose, and she chose.
Thank you for the clarity on that. Was there a reason why you chose to show her the near future event where she and the ones that are close to her, they're in Texas at that gathering?
Glimpses for her to see because of what's unfolding in her now, and because of the way that the interplay and exchange and opposing frequency measures are unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
It's best not to have complete pictures. It's best not to have mm, clearly delineated snapshots
Mm-hmm.
because that can be countermanded or confiscated or exchanged with the other opposing forces.
Okay. BZ was also wanting to know, is there anything that she needs to get prepared for? Any preparations she needs to make?
Keep moving forward and clearing out, clearing out on all levels, all layers, all realms,
Mm.
all of the possibilities or placeholders that you have had, clear those out and let go of needing of a detail or go for the frequency, go for the energetic feeling, go for what your heart is showing you,
Mm.
and keep stepping forward, even if you have no idea what you think that means.
Mm. Thank you for that. I was wanting to clarify, we had set an intention to achieve a total merge of all parts of herself and to bring those into this day and time, into this body. Is that what happened when she was experiencing the lion and the gold light?
Yes, and it will continue to happen. She could only take so much
Okay.
in these moments of expansion.
Okay.
and the swelling, the moving truck she describes it,
Mhm.
and the heart space. It is an enormous process, and
Mhm.
it is taking things forward in a very large leap. She can handle it,
Mhm.
but it's something to step into more and more. The process will not complete itself yet, and the process will not stop.
Okay. Now, is there anything else that you would like for her to know tonight?
You've seen experiences today, earlier in the day, where you're rushing. Don't rush. Move forward in an effective way. Move forward in a joyful way.
Okay.
And do what you do and leave the rest to be.
Now, before we close out this session, is there anything that needs healing within BZ's body, emotionally or physically tonight?
There are things that are pockets of energy that are old distortion energy pockets. And a lot of those have been already cleared and pushed out and just in what she experienced tonight.
Okay.
You'll find some discomfort and some new feelings as that lets go and new things rush in. She'll feel the sense of warming and pulsing and energy flows coming in.
Wonderful. Do you have any messages for the collective tonight?
You have traveled so far into a vast, open, expansive way in each of you. And the culmination of this will be a burst of light and, for some, a bit jarring, a bit of a shock. And you will see the sense that people are all of a sudden seeing when they couldn't see a moment ago. You can see that they are noticing, that they are aware, that their eyes are actually open, and the light is shining in. And what they can decode that as is awareness, it is knowing. It's their heart leading the way, and that's unstoppable now.
Very good. Thank you for that. And thank you for stepping forward and providing this wisdom for BZ and the collective. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we end this session?
She and you and all should celebrate. You're magnificent, and you've done this. Keep going forward.
Well, that makes me smile. Very good. Thank you. All right, BZ, we're going to bring your light body back into your physical body now.